I remember, wow, ages back when we filmed the Tiguan, I said that SUVs are really safe. My choice of family car would be an SUV four-wheel drive.
However, someone commented saying that they don't see the need to drive an SUV in Hong Kong because the road conditions are generally quite safe in Hong Kong, quite stable, mainly flat roads and highways.
Which is true. Why is it so important to have an SUV then?
Because you just want one.
That too.
As a female driver, I do feel like if you're driving an SUV, you kind of like sit higher up, and that feels kind of safer, and it's a bigger car.
I guess the presence on the road gives you a sense of comfort and safety. We have two SUVs. One is a little safer, one is a little faster. So which one are we going to drive today?
Which one is the safer one?
So we have two SUVs. This one is the RSQ3. It's very, very fast. It's very, very safe. But between the two cars, I think one is slightly safer and slightly faster.
Which one is that?
That one.
Yeah, my car, of course. Of course, I get to drive the safer car and the faster car.
It might not be chucking it down. The road's quite wet. As a demonstration of how dangerous driving can be, I think today's quite a safe day to film this vlog. If it were a proper monsoon, proper Typhoon 3 or 8, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Typhoon 8. Yeah.
Or if it's really chucking it down, I don't advise anyone drive their car anyway. Now that it's raining a little less heavily, you still see from the Osmo Action stuck to the back of the car how wet the conditions are.
It's actually quite dangerous to drive when there's only moderate rain, because the road is super slippery and because you feel like, oh, it's not really that heavy, so you kind of drive at a normal speed, but you really should be slowing down.
People are even more careless. When it's really chucking it down and it reduces visibility to 20-30 meters, people slow down to a snail pace. But when it's just wet and it's no longer raining, people are still quite mental. Sarah's quite right in saying Hong Kong drivers tend to be quite aggressive.
Chasing rain. I hate rain.
Rain is miserable.
When I first met you, you said, I love it when it rains. I was like, what the hell?
It's quite nice. Weirdo. It's quite
no way,
romantic.
I've never liked the rain. It's not really romantic.
Almost miserable, but not. It's just the colour.
Not
Grey's
really.
no different
It's so
to blue.
inconvenient when it rains.
A little bit.
You get wet. If you're catching public transport, when you're waiting for the bus or like the minibus, you get drenched. Even if you just want to go down for a stroll, it's like all wet, and then you get dirty from like all the wet water and the puddles.
When did you mind getting dirty?
You wouldn't get dirty from like the rain.
It is quite scary actually. When you're driving in the fast lane and the opposite traffic splashes water all over your windscreen, and when visibility is also almost zero, that massive splash doesn't really help much at all.
It's super freaky.
Pretty scary.
An adventure. We're lost.
In Satao Kok, or somewhere nearby.
I don't think there's a Yao Zam here, darling. I don't think there's a petrol station here, darling.
Just want to stop somewhere.
See, that's what I mean. When it's raining, it's so inconvenient. I can't even stop the car because we're going to get wet. During rainy weather, devise how many seconds you are away from the car in front of you.
3 seconds? I can't remember now.
3 seconds is the normal distance. Probably like 5 seconds. The 3 second rule allows for safe driving when the road is dry and straight. But then if it's wet, 4 seconds or more. So when I was driving my BMW 2 Series, SUVs, and then I would sometimes drive Jason's SUV, the Audi Q3. I could feel that the Audi rolls a little bit more because it's an SUV and it kind of sits higher up. But when I drive the Macan, it definitely feels a lot more stable, comparable to a sedan.
Comparable. Even when you're sat in the car, it doesn't feel like an SUV. The Audi driver's position is kind of like this. Not quite a bus driver, but very upright.
I think I've said this like so many times in the driving vlogs. I don't understand why drivers don't indicate. How difficult is it to just use your hand and just indicate? It takes less than 2 seconds and it can...
with the switch.
Yeah. Not with your hand.
When it indicates with the hand.
Activate the switch so you'll indicate, so your car will indicate. It can really minimize the risk of accidents happening on the road, especially like driving conditions like this. All the lanes are full. If you're trying to move from lane to lane, please let people know what you're trying to do so they don't have to second guess you. If anyone brakes all of a sudden, or if you're trying to get into another lane without indicating all of a sudden, it can really cause huge issues for other drivers.
It's actually quite scary to drive when it's this heavy.
This isn't the heaviest.
No, it's not the worst. If it were any worse, I think we'd just stop and go home immediately.
It's scariest when it's like really, really heavy rain and it's so loud. I find that really scary.
Here we are at the end of the vlog. Getting ready to change these scissors and give Damon a haircut.
Bye-bye, Damon's hair.
Bye-bye.
Don't cry after your haircut, baby.